Hi students, it's me. I don't know if I've made you a video before. I feel like I have. But I'm so sorry I'm not there and I'm not at school anymore. So I'm making you a quick house video. I just wanted to go over one of these example problems as you're reviewing today. Just because I know we never had time to go over it and I want to make sure you understand it before our test. So, announcement, your test is next class. Yes, it's been postponed already once, so it's officially going to be on Tuesday. So use the class time today to go over the entire review packet, make sure you feel comfortable with all the stuff, and then be ready on Tuesday. I think that's it. I'll put my email on the board, so make sure if you have any questions, email me. I'll be available to email y'all back. Okay, right now I'm going over an example problem that you'll have on the test. And it was your homework from 2 nights ago. So Monday I signed this off. I don't remember what color it was. Do you remember? So on the back, there was like a bunch of graphs, and then at the bottom there was this big long word problem about like building houses and acres and all that stuff. So if you haven't already, pause this video and take out that homework assignment. I know a lot of you were like, I didn't get the last one, and so maybe you don't have anything written, but a lot of you did have some stuff written. So I wanted to check it, see if you're doing it right, and if you didn't understand it at first, go over it. So take out that problem, please. Otherwise, you can just take out a plain piece of paper and go over this problem with me. So it's talking about this builder, yes, and he just bought a 100 acre lot. It's late. And he's dividing this into 1 acre lots, so he can fit 100 different houses on it. He can either build. Yikes. He can either build a modest house or a deluxe house. So the problem, if you're looking at it, gives you this table right here, which I've written out. So the modest houses cost $20,000, but you make a profit of $35,000. And then the deluxe houses cost $40,000, so more, but you make a higher profit, $50,000. So our job is to figure out how many deluxe houses should we build, how many modest houses should we build so that we make the most profit. So this is called a linear programming or an optimization problem, and I really like these. So your first step, no matter what you're doing, is to set up your equations. So first, x in this case is our modest houses. So what we're going to do is we need to make sure that our number of modest houses is always going to be greater than or equal to 0. You can't have a negative house. Oh, you're going to build -5 houses. Doesn't make sense. Same thing with deluxe houses. It's going to be greater than or equal to 0. So pretty obvious, but just make sure you're taking everything into context. Okay, other stipulations that we talked about. Let me reference this problem really quick. Okay, the other thing is we only have 100 acres. Remember this? So, and each house takes 1 acre. So all of your deluxe houses, X, plus all of your, modest houses, plus all of your deluxe houses, Y, have to be less than or equal to 100 houses or acres. Cool? And then finally, you have a cost restriction. You have a budget. So this guy has $2.6 million to spend on like building these houses. So the cost of these houses has to be less than that. So we're going to do 20,000 because it's 20,000 for each X house, 20,000 X plus 40,000 Y has to be less than or equal to $2.6 million, which is 2,600,000. So those are my 4 equations right there. That's your first step. Write the equations. Make sure they're good and beautiful and correct. Now, from here, we graph them. So this is dealing with pretty large numbers. If you want to scale it down, you totally can. But it's pretty straightforward to graph. So let's do it. So I'm just going to set this up right here. First of all, X is greater than 0 and Y is greater than 0. So we're only going to be in this first quadrant right here. I don't need anything else. So that's my first line. I'm not going to go past this line, and I'm not going to go past this line. Okay, second, I need to graph this guy right here. It's easiest to graph stuff if it's in Y equals form, so I'm just going to minus X, and then minus X. So my second equation is Y is less than or equal to 100 minus X. Y is less than or equal to 100 minus X. All right, so the y-intercept is 100, so you go up here at 100, and then your slope is -1. So just go down 1 over 1, down 1 over 1, down 1 over 1. And you can tell it's just going to be this nice straight line. And it's going to cross down here also at 100 because you just went down 1 each time. So this point right here is over 100 up 0, 100 comma 0. And this one up here was over 0 up 100, like that. So we already have our 2 points. Yay, feeling good. Lastly, we just need to graph this guy right here. Again, it's easier to graph if you get the y alone. So I'm going to minus the 20,000x over to this side, and then divide everything by 40,000. And you end up getting y is less than or equal to -1/2 x plus 65. I'm not going to do that math, but you can totally do this. You're just solving for y. Okay, and that's what I got. All right, so from here I just got to graph this one now. So this one's y-intercept is 65, so I'm going to go up here to 65 over 0 up 65. And this time my slope is -1/2, so I'm going down 1 over 2, down 1 over 2. So you can see this line's going to be a little less steep. And you can tell where it's going to cross over here. If it started at 65 and we're going down 1 over 2, then it's going to double. So it's hitting over here at 100, 65 doubled, 130. Like that. Comma 0, technically. But those points don't even matter because, hello, we are just trying to find where these all overlap. So if you recall, y has to be less than or equal to both of these equations. So if you take this diagonal one right here, has to be less than that, and then take this equation and it has to be less than that. So you can tell where they overlap. Go ahead and fill that in. So we're going to overlap right here. That's called your feasible region. So we graphed it. We got our equations and now we have graphed them. So my third step now is to find the corners. If you remember, you're only going to maximize or minimize something at a corner, at the corner of this feasible region. So we've got this first corner right here. It's over 0 up 65. And we've got this corner right here, over 100 up 0. We're just missing this corner right here. Well, and technically we also have this one. Let's not forget about him, 0, 0. Okay, so now we just need to find this guy right here. So hopefully you're already noticing this is where this line and this line intersect. So if you want to figure out what that point is, you have to take those two lines and set them equal, right? You want to know where they equal each other. So we've already got them in the form of y, which is awesome. So if we're going to set them equal to each other, we'll just set this equal to this. So I'm just going to write 100 minus x equals -1/2 x plus 65. So minus 100 over here, add the 1/2 x over here, you get -1/2 x equals 35 times by -2 on both sides times by -2, you get 70, right? X equals 70. Cool. So you take the 70 and you can plug it back in into either of these, but this one's easier. 100 minus 70 is 30. So you know this point right here is 70, 30. So we have our 4 points. Great, you're doing fabulous. We're almost done. So let me just switch papers real quick. Lastly, I want you to just list all these corner points that you just had. So we had 0, 0. We had 0, 65. 100, 0, and 70, 30. These are our 4 points right here. So these are our corner points. These are either going to be, if the maximum exists, which it does, it will be one of these 4 points. So now finally we just have to test it. So you're trying to maximize money, right? So you're going to test it in the money equation, the profit equation. So if you look back at the beginning, we made $35,000 off of X, the modest houses. So our profit equation, we're making 30, I don't know why I did a parenthesis like that, just ignore it. $35,000 profit equals times X. Let's see, and then we're making $50,000 off of our Y deluxe houses. So $50,000 off of our Y houses. So there's our profit equation. That's how much money we're making. So what we're going to do is we're just going to plug these points in for each of these places. So start with 0, 0. So you take 35 times 0 and this and 0, and then obviously you're going to get 0. That was easy. Okay, the second one is same thing. 35,000 times 0 plus 50,000 times 65. Ooh. I did this math already, so I wouldn't have to calculate in front of you guys. Which gives you 3,250,000. 3,250,000. Not too bad. All right, this one. 35,000 times 100 plus 50,000 times 0. You don't even need to write it because it's going to be 0. 35,000 times 100, you already know because 100 is easy to multiply. It's the same number. 3,500,000. Just like that. And last but not least, you plug in the 70 and the 30. So we've got 35,000 times 70, and then the 50,000 times 30. And when you do that math, you get 3,950,000. So excuse my handwriting. I'm writing on a clipboard. It's really hard. Anyway, you can clearly see that this last one, the 70, 30 right here, 3,950,000 is the largest. That gives you the highest profit. So your answer, what you would say back to this builder guy, is that he should build 70 modest houses and 30 deluxe houses for a profit of $3,950,000. Cool, sort of. I hope that helps a little bit, okay? That's as hard as it's going to get. Most of the stuff on the review we've already done. It's just graphing and solving, sort of the basics. I'll just give you one of these story problems on your quiz. So just practice, review this one, and then practice the one on the review as well. Okay, you're amazing. I'm so sorry I was not here. You guys are going to be absolutely flawless. If you need help, talk to each other because you're surrounded by tons of really smart, amazing people. So ask each other questions and help each other, and I will see you on Tuesday.